Well, good evening, everyone. The doors have shut. I think we've used the last chair. So a very big welcome to this evening's discussion and panel and questions and celebration of abstraction. For me, the whole of this festival is about celebrating and celebrating creativity. Today was such a marked contrast to yesterday, the first day, when the rain and the wind were there, and going along the promenade with the flags flying and laughing and hats being made and faces being painted. It felt to me absolutely quintessentially creative, but engaging the population of all ages. And so tonight it feels to me just sort of crowns in a slightly more serious way some of the wonderful, frivolous but serious and creative things to be going on at the festival. The 14th year of the festival founded by Madam here, Sandy Brown, and team. And certainly when I arrived on Thursday from Oxford in the pouring rain and a little bit of head on the hand. It's never rained quite so badly as this. But people were finding the workshops and the spirit immediately caught like Sandy. So we've been celebrating creativity already for 2 days, 3 days now, and another day tomorrow. So terrific. So I would just want to get our adrenaline going a bit by celebrating Sandy and the festival. And of course, the amazing teams have been working to make it all happen, come rain, come shower. My name's Joanna Foster, and I'm very proud to be chairing this session and to be the new patron of the festival. Chairing this evening's discussion is a slightly frisson-making occasion for me because I'm not an artist. I'm not a maker, I'm not a potter, I'm not a jeweller, I'm not a cabinet maker, I'm not a musician, but I'm passionate about art and about craft. So having so many of you here who are makers and artists is one of the things that is most wonderful about my role of chairing the Crafts Council, because I work a huge amount around the country with makers and with artists, so I see a lot of creativity. So it's terrific that we've got this occasion tonight. I read in the catalogue that my role this evening is to help illuminate the mysteries surrounding creativity, and in particular to celebrate, if not unravel, the mysteries of abstraction. Help. Sandy, when you asked me if I would chair this discussion, I didn't reveal to you, but I did reveal to Liz, who I think was there at the same time. I had a little hiccup of panic about it. I thought, am I going to have to talk about it? And then luckily you told me that there was going to be a panel of great experts and probably a very practicing audience of experts as well, so I feel slightly less panicked. But I am joined by this wonderful panel of people who know a lot about the subject. First of all, we have Sandy herself, and to be in this great space and in the glove factory, which some of you who live here know that it wasn't quite like this a few years ago, and to be surrounded by Sandy's work, which is sort of dancing and standing and laughing and crying and doing all the things that the emotions that get evoked by your work, Sandy, to be here are wonderful. But doubly wonderful is having Patrick's work. The collaboration, the conversation between your pieces of work is extraordinary. I know that they hadn't been together before, but it's wonderful. And actually, to be surrounded and having people sitting, and people of all shapes, sizes, and abstraction and figurative, all the things sitting around it, I think is very exciting. So I think our subject this evening, we're already celebrating it, because we're celebrating it with your work. So thank you, both of you, for giving us the opportunity to have this opportunity. On the panel, and next door to Patrick, is Sam Cornish, who is a writer and who edits Abstract critical website. Actually, I don't think, is edit the right word, Sam?
Edit is the right word.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's right.
Well, commission and edit.
Commission.
Organise.
And you've worked and you work at the Poussin Gallery.
I used to work there, yeah.
Right.
I kind of write freelance as
where
well.
you have seen many an artist with much abstraction, and particularly Patrick, show there.
Yeah.
So very nice to have you. And at the other end, hot from Dublin, flew into the Exeter airport, which I gather is delightful, and very different from Heathrow, how lovely to have very different from Heathrow, is John Daly, who runs a gallery in Dublin called the Fine Art Gallery, and which is the only gallery in Ireland, am I right, that really shows historically international art and a lot of abstract artists. And you've been very connected with the St. Ives group, and perhaps you'll tell us a little bit more about that too. And then in the morning is, Mel, I can only describe you as, I mean, yeah, sorry, I was thinking about the morning, because in the morning, you're often with me over breakfast. Because Mel Gooding, I'm sure as you all know, writes in The Guardian. And so this occasion when I got up early to go to the baker and to get my Guardian, there you are, sitting beside me in my cereal. And sometimes I agree with you and sometimes I don't, and I suspect that's going to be the same tonight as well. And of course, Mel is the author of the majority of major abstract painters in monographs. So we're absolutely very privileged to have this panel. Patrick, I'm going to start with you, because it was your idea to have this discussion at this point in the festival. So tell us why.
Oh, God. Okay. First of all, I just have to welcome you all and thank you all for coming, and also my distinguished panel here. I did think of the idea of having this discussion a long time ago, and it's going to escape me why I did that in a minute. So the fact is, I'll give you an indication. I talked to a gallery dealer close to where I live, and she said, oh, I'd love to come up and see the talk, but I couldn't bring my husband because he couldn't endure 2 hours of abstract art. And I thought, that is the problem. How are we going to endure this? And why is it seen to be you know, so serious, etc. I have my works here, and really my work speaks for me. So if you want to know what I'm thinking about, it's on the walls. There's also, shameless self-promotion, a book of mine which is for sale, and I'm going to sign it for anybody who's interested after this event. And in the book is an interview with Painter's Table, where I did my best to explain some of the reasons why I paint like this. But I haven't really invited this illustrious panel here so that I can go on. I really want to hear what they have to say. And I just am so grateful for them to come down to talk to us and so interested really to hear what they've got to say.
Okay, Patrick, in the catalogue, you and Sandy both say, and you clearly share this very firmly, that you share the view that the making of art comes out of an essential affirmation of being alive. And Sandy, I haven't known you that long, but it seems to me that that absolutely epitomises you and your work. Do you just want to say something briefly for starting about the subject?
About celebrating abstraction?
Yeah.
Well, I think that, you know, I think for me, the work that I do has been a place where I can feel free and fresh and alive, and that is life-affirming, that is optimistic, that is hopeful, that is... And it's not something that I've thought about intellectually or planned to do. It's just something that comes over me when I go into the studio, a feeling of great exhilaration and great freedom and great playfulness. And it's come out in this language, it's come out in this form. And I think that for me, you know, abstract art is actually very similar to music without words. It's, you know, it's a form of language. It creates an atmosphere and hopefully a response.
That's for sure. Sam, what about you?
I suppose I'm drawn to abstract art purely because it's an art where you're forced to concentrate on exactly what is in front of you. You're not drawn away into thinking about, or at least I'm not drawn away into thinking about other meanings, other references to things outside of it. You can simply enjoy or be involved with the material and with the shapes and the forms that are presented to you.
What sort of got you interested in the first place? Was it some person, some painting, some writing? How did you become so attached?
I suppose, well, obviously you do the sort of standard thing where your parents drag you along to galleries, and I got a load of art books as an inheritance from a grandparent. But at university, where I did study art history, but I didn't actually study any abstract paintings. I always used to go to a particular painting by an American painter called Ken, purely because it's a sort of empty experience. You just sit or stand in front of it and sort of give yourself over to it, I suppose. And that's the sort of root of why I'm interested.
So you sat or you stood and you felt empty. Can you enlarge on that a little bit?
Well, you have the painting in front of you, and you can kind of sort of visually move through it, or kind of visually weigh up the different aspects of it, how a particular part of it sits against another part, and how the spaces between those parts open up. You can do that with figurative art as well. You could do that with a landscape. You could see how the sea breaks against the shore, and those are the same sort of things. You're enjoying the particular way that the forms have come together.
Okay.
I don't know if that sounds terribly esoteric.
And can you just tell us briefly, for those people who might not know about Abstract Critical and your website, just briefly about that, and we'll probably come back to that later on.
It's a sort of organisation set up just over a year and a half ago by the gallerist at Poussin Gallery, which is in South London, and a collector who's sort of to try and provide a larger sort of critical forum for the discussion of abstract art. And so the website is one part of the activity, but we also do talks and sort of various other things, sponsor exhibitions. There was an Abstract Critical Art Prize of £5,000, I think, for a young abstract artist just out of art college.
Okay, thank you.